Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here at Tronful Reads, and in this video, I'm going to be doing a combined tag of the mid-year freakout tag and the mid-year check-in tag. Emma over at A Couple Books kind of combined these two tags, and I was like, you know what, I'm totally stealing this because a lot of the questions have a lot of overlap, or they're pretty much literally the same question, just worded a little bit differently. So I just pick and chose like 10 questions between the two tags and sort of combined them, kind of like what she did. So I'll leave a link to her video down below. Definitely check out her channel. But yeah, I'm going with all the books from January 1st through the end of June. This is like the first week of July, so that's what I'm going to do for my cutoff for, like, mid-year, exactly the halfway point. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. All right, question number one. How many books have you read so far this year? And according to Goodreads, I have finished 80 books. Now that's definitely improvement over last year and a slight improvement over 2 years ago. Largely that's because of, first unemployment. So I just had a lot more time because of shelter in place and everything like that. And then also with sort of the transitioning with COVID-19 and everything, I get to listen to audiobooks. The perk is silver lining is I get to listen to audiobooks at work because I'm by myself in the building. The downside is I'm there at 4 in the morning. So, it's kind of like a little bit of give and take there. But like I said, I've been able to finish quite a few more books, especially in audio format, because of that. All right, number two. What is your favorite book so far this year? This was a top. There's two books. But I'm definitely going to be going here with Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Oh, and as you can see, I've tried to, upgrade my class a little bit here and have, an actual, little journal for, all my tag videos rather than, my floppy, just kind of, notebooks that I always normally use. But anyways, Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teaching of Plants by Robin Kimmerer. I have so many thoughts about this book. I'm probably actually going to be doing a reread at some point in the next couple months, where I'm going to really slowly read it and take notes over it and everything, and then do a giant in-depth mega review or something. Don't hold me accountable to that one in case I end up not doing that, but I definitely will be doing a reread of it. I don't know. This was it's superbly written, just beautiful prose, everything like that. But the author Robin Kimmerer is a member of the Powhatan Nation, but she's also a professor of ecology, and she just kind of combines rigorous science and everything along with indigenous wisdom and sort of her upbringing and different thoughts about that, and just kind of how she views the world and plants and everything, and just I don't know, it's so well done. Like I said, I got it my brain exploded reading this one, so I'm going to be doing a slow reread of it for sure. I definitely encourage everyone to check this one out. She also has one other book, Gathering Moss, which I will be reading in the near future. But like I said, just beautifully written, just an amazing blend of sort of indigenous philosophy with memoir stuff, with science stuff, just great vignettes, great stories, just really great thoughts in general to make you think about the living world especially. So highly encourage everyone to check out Braiding Sweetgrass. Also, there is a fancy edition by Milkweed Editions, I believe, coming out in a couple months, and I'm going to be buying that one. I just have to, this is definitely my favorite book of the year so far. And with that, I totally did not even do it justice with that just sort of terrible ramble. But let's just go on to question number 3. What has been your least favorite or your biggest disappointment so far this year? All right, everyone, get out your pitchforks and torches because I'm about to commit heresy again. I think I did this in 2018 with The Way of Kings, but my grandest disappointment. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. My grandest disappointment, by far and away. Nothing is even coming close to the disappointment that is this just brick of a book of Oathbringer, the third book by Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive. So many just terrible thoughts about this book. There's just, first of all, it's 1,200 pages or something dumb like that. It just, I can't even, it's over 1,200 pages. With the other books in the series I've done, see, Way of Kings, I thought it was like I didn't really like it, but everyone was like, "Oh, just keep reading, it gets better." And then Words of Radiance was better, and I was like, wow, it is better. Maybe I was wrong about the first book. And then this book just blows Way of Kings out of the water for just terribleness. I will die on the hill of why, the Stormlight Archive is not the greatest fantasy series ever. I know those are like literally my least favorite, my most disliked and controversial videos on my channel. Maybe I'll put some links up there so you guys can definitely go check it out. But yeah, with the other two books, I did giant discussion panel, like hour-long videos almost, with my friend Tim. We will be doing that one once I can sit down with him. Once this is all like getting back to normal with without social distancing or whatever. I will be doing a discussion panel of why I hate this book. Besides the fact it's 1,200 pages and nothing happens and the characters are terrible, and yeah, just everything. So like I said, that's pretty much heresy. That's good. That's like a whole video. If you watched my Way King ones, I basically write all my problems down and I discuss it thoroughly. So I'm just like, I don't like the book. I got reasons, but it is what it is. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Now question number 4. What is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? I'm going with a cool, or what I'm hoping is going to be a cool Greek history book, and it's Thebes. I can't remember what the subtitle is. I think it's like Ancient Greece's Forgotten City or something like that. But Paul Cartledge. Paul Cartledge is a pretty famous, popular historian on the ancient Greek world. But Thebes is probably my favorite city-state, my favorite polis from classical antiquity. And Sparta and Athens get pretty much all the glory, pretty much anything on classical Greece is mostly really on those two city-states, even though neither of them, in their own ways, they're polar opposites, but in their own ways they're not really good examples of a Greek polis. Thebes also is kind of quirky in its own way too, because it's fairly rural and it's actually kind of a conglomerate of a couple little villages and whatever. The Boeotian, and it kind of leads the Boeotian League. But anyways, Thebes gets a bad rap because they Medides during the Persian Wars, but in their defense, they're way up in the north, and no one was gonna come up to help them out. So what are they supposed to do? Just fight the Persians by themselves? No, of course not. They're gonna give allegiance to Persia and whatever. And now all the other Greek states are that were south of them are wow, you guys suck and blah blah blah. But anyways, I know I'm completely random. I'm in a rare form in this video apparently, but part of also why I really like Thebes is after the Peloponnesian War, Sparta sort of had a hegemony over the Greek world. Thebes is the one that broke that, especially with Epaminondas at the Battle of Leuctra and the Battle of Mantinea. Those two battles, he crushed the Spartan forces, and after that, Sparta's already dwindling into kind of nothingness. No, maybe not nothingness isn't the right word. They were on the steady decline, and after that, they were just completely broken until the Romans showed up essentially. But I don't know, between Epaminondas and Pelopidas, I don't know, they just have a really cool story beating the Spartans. Then there's sort of the Theban hegemony where they were kind of the hegemon of the Greek world until Macedon started kind of coming on the stage. But it's pretty cool too. They freed the Messenians and the Helots, which were their perennial slaves of Sparta, which is actually what allowed Sparta to have a professional army and stuff. Because they didn't have to work because they had slaves and whatever doing everything for them. Epaminondas helped them, lead a revolt and whatever, and build a city for them at Megalopolis and everything. So I thought that was really cool. Just like I said, Thebes, super underrated. Went on a long tangent. It's the most exciting book I'm looking forward to reading in 2020. The end of 2020. I don't know when it comes out. I think in the fall. Alright, number 5. What is your most read genre? And this was actually a really tight, close race. History ekes out a win with about 26 books. And my nature books came in second at 23. So 26, even then, that still doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, that's about a third. It's a little bit under a third, and nature's a little bit under a third as well. And then the rest of my books would have been philosophy books and just sort of some memoirs. And then the few fantasy books I read and the Warhammer books kind of all gathered together for about another third or so. But yeah, definitely the majority of my books are always going to be history and nature. Though I was actually kind of thinking, just like when I was just like, before I looked at Goodreads in Canada, though I actually thought I had read more nature books, but I think I've been doing actually really good keeping up with my history reads. I definitely slacked off last year with my history reads, and that was something I wanted to address. And I've been doing pretty good about that, so I feel good about that. All right, question number 6. A favorite new author. I got a good one for this one. It's Bernd Heinrich. I have one of his books right here. The Ingenuity of Animal Survival. And actually, that's the subtitle. Winter World is the actual book. I actually have read Summer World, or listened to the audiobook of Summer World, and then I picked up Winter World after that one. What's really cool about him is he was born in Germany 80 years ago, but when he was really young, he moved to the United States, and he grew up in Maine, which is a state I lived in, which is kind of cool. So when he's talking about all these little experiments that he does, he's a naturalist, a professional naturalist, was like a professor or whatever, but all his like studies and everything, a lot of what he does is he does actual like rigorous real experiments in just kind of like anecdotes and vignettes from like the locations around his house and everything. So it's really cool because a lot of the animals and the life around his place is, even though we don't really live in the same exact area, I'm probably about like 200 or 300 miles away, but you know, it's still pretty close, and it's the same flora and fauna that I have around my house. So it's really cool, like kind of learning about like what he does like with his property, and like what I could, you know, theoretically like learn about my property and my woodlands and everything. I just think it's really fun. He's got about like 20 books. I read, let's see, what did I read? I read Summer World and A Naturalist at Large, which is just sort of a bunch of essays they wrote on a bunch of different topics. He was also like almost an Olympic marathon runner. He was a professional marathoner and ultra marathoner for a long time, and I think he was only like 30 seconds away from qualifying for like the Olympic team or something. But anyways, he's got tons of books. Lots of books on like ravens, lots of books on different kind of birds, just, you know, the whole living world. And he's got one book that I really need to get, which is A Cabin in the Woods, which is about a log cabin that he built, kind of like living off the land and everything, and just like learning about, you know, just the rural Maine property in the woods that he had around his house. So I thought that was really cool. Definitely will be collecting his entire bibliography at some point. And like I said, I think he's got like 18 or 19 other books I need to get. Like, for example, one of them is called Why We Run. Like I mentioned, he was an ultra marathoner. He wrote a book on kind of like the history of like the evolution of running and stuff in hominids and everything, I think. So I thought that was like, it's just really cool. I don't know, just a really cool author. Plus, like I said, he's kind of like in Maine, so I think that's pretty awesome. All right. Number 7, your most beautiful book that you read this year. I'm going with The Fall of Gondolin by J.R.R. Tolkien, edited by Christopher Tolkien. But obviously the beauty part is by the illustrations by Alan Lee. As you can see, the cover is really cool, as you can see. But it's filled with quite a few like illustrations and paintings or whatever that are pretty cool. As you can see, I don't know. I just thought it was. I thought it was really cool. There's Toror fighting the Balrog and stuff. But anyways, really good. Definitely check out this book. It's about the fall, pretty much the most calamitous event with the fall of Gondolin at the end of the First Age in Middle Earth. If you're into like kind of like Middle Earth lore and stuff, highly recommend that one for sure. All right, number 8. What is the next big priority you have for your reading? And this is actually a big surprise. Something different from my channel, so I don't know. I can't really tell you too much about it, but yeah, it's a big surprise. All right, question number 9. Actually, be looking for this big surprise in like a week. Well, actually, probably by the time I upload this and everything, it'll only be probably like a week or 2 away. So that'll be pretty cool. Question number 9. A book to be read by the end of the year. For that, I'm going for the history book. And I have a shelf, about 2/3 of one of these shelves is all like on the Punic Wars between Rome and Carthage. And I've had this really nice edition of Carthage Must Be Destroyed, The Rise and Fall of an Ancient Civilization by Richard Miles for years now. And I just have never read it, and I don't really have a good reason why. I just never got around to it. But it's not just on the Punic Wars per se, but I think it's like a general history of all of Carthage. For those who don't know, Carthage was kind of like an opposing superpower during like kind of the age of the rise of Rome during the Roman Republic. It was originally a Phoenician colony, that landed at Carthage, which is in kind of like a little peninsula off the on the coast of Tunisia in North Africa, and they had a giant kind of trading network in the western half of the Mediterranean with their own colonies all over the coast of North Africa and in Spain and the islands such as Sicily and the Balearic Isles and everything like that. And obviously, they're probably most well known for just kind of the clash of republic. Well, I guess Carthage really wasn't really a republic. Well, it kind of was, but anyways, between Carthage and Rome, and obviously with the characters like Hannibal Barca who crossed the Alps with his elephants and everything in the Second Punic War. Probably the most well known figure from Carthage. But anyways, like I said, this is actually the only like full history of Carthage I have. I don't think there's probably that many. There is one other that I know of. I think Sergei Lancel might have one, and Warmington, another, I can't remember what his first name is. I think he has one as well. I think they're on my like to get list, but this is the only one I actually have, and it'd be kind of cool just to like have like a giant actual overview of the Carthaginian state. So there's that. All right, and question number 10 is to tag people, and I'm going to be tagging first David over at oh my gosh, I forget his channel. It's a spin on 50 Cent. What is it? Live for... Oh my gosh. I feel dumb. Yeah. Live forever or die trying. So yeah, I'll always think it was 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying. But anyways, he's a brand new booktuber to me. I mean, he's not like a brand new booktuber, but I saw that he had a video all about like non-fiction books and stuff. So yeah, definitely go give his channel a look. And also Jenny over at Book of Shenanigans. She has it seems like a wide eclectic range of books that she reads, so I think she might have some really interesting answers for these questions. Definitely go check out those two channels, and also anyone else who hasn't done this tag, just you probably should get around to doing it, because I'm definitely like in the like later stages, because most people seem to do it in the middle of June, and I'm like, yeah, I'll wait till like June's actually over, because that's the halfway point. But yeah, it definitely starts like tapering off in July, so I encourage you guys all to do this tag if you're so inclined. So thank you all so much for watching. Leave some comments down below about like kind of your answer if you don't do videos, or if you have one on this tag, leave a link down below. I'll go check it out for sure. And if you don't have a BookTube channel, just leave some of your answers to kind of like your favorite questions of these in the comments down below. I'm always on the lookout for good books, good recommendations, everything like that. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, Twitter, Etsy shop and stuff. My subliminal messaging I'm going to be trying. Everyone probably like noticed that for like the first second in. Anyways, thank you all so much for for watching the video, and whatever you end up reading the rest of the year, always remember, read victoriously.